let's quickly talk about the Dallas Wings. All right, the Dallas Wings. We are continuing in our series where we are going through who is on the list for the training camps for the various teams. We're going through each team. We're going through each player on these teams, and I hope this is of interest to you all. We've gone down the series. We're doing it in alphabetical order. So we did the Atlanta Dream, did the Chicago Sky, did the Connecticut Sun. Now we are on the Dallas Wings. Okay? Okay. So the Dallas Wings are looking to rebuild. This is a team that keeps their star in Arike Ogunbowale. She's a two-time All-Star game MVP. Like, she is someone who can light it up, literally light up the court with her crazy shooting. They turn the page on their roster with DiJonai, Carrington, NaLyssa Smith, and Paige Bueckers. And they have a really awesome set of young talent that are battling it out for the final 12 roster spots. This is a new squad. This is probably going to be a very, very interesting, possibly down to the wire training camp in terms of cuts. But I'm going to tell you this, man. This is going to be very, very exciting to see the Dallas Wings play. And this could be it could be the start of something huge for Dallas. Now, let's actually dive in real quick to take a look at the big picture of the Dallas Wings. So this is a team that last year in 2024 went 9-31. That means 9 wins, 31 losses, the second worst in the league. And because of that, they had to clean house. Clean house 2025. This is a team that brought in a brand new head coach in Chris Koklanis. He comes from the Lindsey Gottlieb tree over at USC. They also add in GM Kurt Miller, who was a head coach and GM before. He was with the Connecticut Sun and then was with the Los Angeles Sparks. Now is a GM only with the Dallas Wings. This is actually the first time that the Dallas Wings have offered this GM position to be filled, and so this is awesome. And this is a team that is going in a new direction. They needed to get Arike Ogunbowale at point guard, and they got it in Paige Bueckers. And this is going to allow this team to play faster, smarter, and hopefully win way more games than just 9. Because, yeah, this is a team that's trying to build a foundation, and that means that there's some tough cuts that are coming our way. This is a team that brought 18 players into training camp. And of that 18, there are some players who are an automatic lock. So the locks, as I see it, barring anything crazy, these are players who, not all of them are on guaranteed contracts, but most of them are on guaranteed contracts. You have, of course, Paige Bueckers, the 6-foot point guard, was the number 1 pick in this year's draft. This is someone who is a polished guard when it comes to the college game. At least she has elite shooting, she has great court vision, she has the poise for the moment, and she just won a championship with Connecticut, so she is flying high. And then you have Arike Ogunbowale, your best player, the bucket getter herself. She's a 5'8" shooting guard who can just get shots up at whim, like at will. Like, she can do whatever she wants. Last year, she averaged 22 points a game and 5 assists for the Dallas Wings. And she is looking to be her great self and not have to feel like she has to carry the team as she has in the past. We also have DiJonai Carrington on this squad as well. She's a 5'11" small forward. This is someone who was a huge pickup for the Dallas Wings. When you talk about DiJonai Carrington, you talk about the fact that she can play defense for days. She's a hard-nosed defender. She brings a lot of energy to that wing position. She's coming off a breakout year with the Connecticut Sun, and her presence is going to give this team a defensive backbone. Last year, Dallas was terrible at defense. This year, they're going to be a lot better in part because of DiJonai Carrington. Last year for the Connecticut Sun, DiJonai averaged 12.7 points a game and 5 rebounds. Next up, we have NaLyssa Smith. NaLyssa Smith comes to the Dallas Wings via a trade from the Indiana Fever. She's a 6'4" power forward. The former number 2 pick out of Indiana is still trying to find her footing again. The last 2 seasons, I would say, has been this past season for sure has been a disappointment for her in terms of just her ability to make an impact. Her rookie year was a really good year for her. Her sophomore year was also pretty good, but then this past season there was it wasn't as great, I would say, for her. Last season she averaged 10.6 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, and just ultimately she needed to get out of Indiana. Now she's out of Indiana. We'll ultimately see what she does this season with the Dallas Wings. Next up, we have Teaira McCowan, who continues on with this Dallas Wings squad. She is a returner for the squad. One of the kind of few returners. There's a lot of new people in training camp this year for the Dallas Wings. Last season, this is someone who averaged, again, she's 6'7" center. Last season, she averaged 11.7 points a game and around 8 rebounds a game as well. All right, next up, let's talk about Maddy Siegrist, because when I tell you, last year, my favorite player out of Dallas was Maddy Siegrist. I think Maddy Siegrist was someone who had a huge unlock last season. She's a 6'2" forward who is just a stretch option at that forward position if they want to play her that way. She's someone who can score in bunches. She had some flashes of greatness last season. And she averaged around 9.4 points a game, shot around 50% shooting from the field. She also is someone who did start a bit. I'm excited to ultimately see what Maddy Siegrist can do. I thought she played great last year. I'm excited to see her continue to develop and grow. Some of these young players, man, sometimes it might not all click their rookie season, but the following seasons they can make some stuff happen. So Maddy Siegrist, I'm excited. I think she's going to flourish into a fantastic WNBA player. All right, next up, let's talk about Myisha Hines-Allen. She is a 6'1" power forward out of Minnesota. She played for Minnesota last season, and she's with the Dallas Wings. She's a proven vet who can score and can make an impact anywhere on the court. She adds a whole bunch of muscle to this team. Last season she averaged 7.8 points a game for Minnesota. So that's 7 players that are locks, in my opinion. Now, we can talk about the Ty Harris thing, because I think she's in, but I don't think she's a lock like these other players are locks, right? So let's talk about the other 5 players who are vying for a spot. So who are the other 5 players? So we have Ty Harris. So Ty Harris is a steady, proven point guard. Here's the deal. The reason why I don't have her as a lock is because, 1, she's not on the guaranteed contract. 2, I think Mai Yamamoto is, her biggest competition. I do think Ty is better than Mai Yamamoto. However, it's just, I think Ty is going to have to compete. It's not a given. It's not a given, in my opinion, for Ty Harris to make this team. Even though I think it's very likely that she will make this team. This is a 5'10" point guard. This is someone who was actually drafted in 2020 by the Dallas Wings. Ultimately, she was traded to the Connecticut Sun in 2023. Now she is back with the Dallas Wings. All right. We also have Mai Yamamoto on this team as well. She's a 5'5", very, very undersized point guard. She plays for the Toyota Antelopes, who is playing some WNBA teams this preseason. This is someone who is a really good 3x3 player. She helped Japan get the gold medal in the FIBA 3x3 U23 team. I think she's a fun player. Now, again, do I actually think she makes this roster? No, I don't. I don't think she makes this roster. I ultimately think Ty Harris is going to get that backup point guard spot. However, it's going to be a competition. It's going to be a competition, that's for sure. All right. Next up, we have Isaiah James, the number 12 overall pick in the WNBA draft for 2025. She is a combo type guard. She is someone who can knock down shots left and right. She's someone who can get to the basket. She can do a little bit of everything. Last season for NC State, she averaged around 12 points a game. She's likely going to make the roster. I think she's likely going to make the roster. We'll see. But I think she's going to be a really fun player for years to come in the WNBA. Next up, we have JJ Kennerly from West Virginia. JJ Kennerly is a defensive juggernaut. I'm telling you, if JJ Kennerly makes this team, man, we going to have both DiJonai and JJ Kennerly on the same team. Defense is going to be absolute fire. Like, defense is going to be great. She's a 2-time Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. She could carve out a role on this team, possibly. It's not a lock that she actually makes this roster. I think it's going to be very tough for her to make this roster, but if she does, I think it could be really, really fun for her. This is someone who can score as well as play defense. And, I'm just hoping that she has a solid chance, because she's another player that I'm like very, very big on. JJ Kennerly. I thought she was fantastic at West Virginia. And we'll see. It's going to be an uphill battle, though. Very uphill battle for her to make this team. All right, next up we have Kayla Charles. She is a veteran player who has some experience but does need to prove her value in order to actually make the roster. This is someone who was drafted in 2020. She was picked up by the Connecticut Sun. She spent a couple of seasons with the Sun and ended up going to the Atlanta Dream for a hot second. And over that time, she's someone who has found a role and found a niche in the WNBA. We'll see ultimately if she's able to carve out a spot with the Dallas Wings. Okay, she has recently played in Hungary, because a lot of these players are playing overseas somewhere. But yeah, she recently played in Hungary, where she was averaging around 11 points a game. All right, next up we have Mackenzie Forbes, someone who was drafted last season by the Los Angeles Sparks. She was waived, so if she actually makes the roster this year, she will be a rookie, even though technically she was drafted in 2024. I think it's going to be an uphill battle. She's someone who has played in New Zealand this past offseason. It's going to be an uphill battle. I don't see her making this roster, but I think it's awesome that she's in the training camp roster, pool. I hope she has a chance, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very, very tough for her. Because again, like these players, sometimes it's an uphill battle trying to make a roster spot, especially as a rookie. All right, next up we have Madison Scott. Madison Scott from Ole Miss. This is someone who has a great motor. She can defend multiple positions. She can sneak on this team if Dallas kind of prioritizes some size at the wing spot. This is someone who last season for Ole Miss averaged around 11 points a game and was on the SEC All-Second team. All right, let's get to some comments. Let's get to some quick comments, guys. Luis says, thanks so much for the super chat, says Paige, a small forward, and tie the point. That could actually be pretty interesting. I think that could work, actually. Because here's the deal. Ty Harris can be a off-the-bench point guard. She could also be a starting point guard. Like, remember, guys, she's been starting for Connecticut, and she did a masterful job as a starter for Connecticut, in my opinion. Because remember, Ty Harris can knock down those threes. She can knock down those threes. But that could be pretty interesting. And I'm pretty sure at times that may be what Chris Koklanis ends up doing. But to start, I think that Paige is the point guard. All right, we have Aisha. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says the coach and GM said Ty was non-negotiable and he has a relationship with her family. I know. Thank you for that super chat. I know, but I'm just saying, just maybe she's in, but like my Yamamoto is good, and like maybe she gives her a little run for her money. Is it likely? No. I just didn't think it was like the biggest of locks. Like Ty is in for sure, but is not as for sure as everybody else. And also because technically she's not on a guaranteed spot. But yes, both Chris Koklanis and Kurt Miller absolutely love Ty Harris. And yes, it's not likely at all. It's like maybe 5% chance she gets cut. 5%, like maybe not even that. It's probably like 99%, or it's probably like 1% chance she gets cut. Like she's making the team. It's just it's not as like 100% as the other people, because the other people were all on guaranteed contracts besides Paige Bueckers, which you'd be crazy to cut her. So that's my logic. I don't know if that logic makes any sense. Tell me if it doesn't. Joyner Holmes is also another player on this team as well. She's a solid vet. She has some good size. She is someone who played for the Seattle Storm last season, playing around 27 games, averaged around 2.9 points, 1.8 rebounds a game. She's very familiar with the DFW area because she is a native of Dallas, Fort Worth. All right. She is fighting for one of those last remaining spots. I think it's going to be difficult for her to make it But, I think she has a chance because, again, veterans always kind of have, in my opinion, a little bit of an advantage to these younger players. Then next up we have Kiki Herbert-Harrigan. She is a athletic wing. She is someone who was a former first-round pick. She could possibly make this roster. Again, I just think it's going to be tough. She's bounced around on a couple of teams and will ultimately have to see what happens from here. All right, and then we finally have the two post players in NaLyssa Geiselsöder. She is a European player who is very physical, but has a lot of raw talent. She's someone who will be arriving late due to overseas play. Now here's the thing. When I was talking earlier about players who get drafted and then they just don't come over and play. So NaLyssa was drafted by the Dallas Wings in 2020. She was drafted in 2020 to the Dallas Wings. And after she was drafted, she remained in Europe, just played basketball in Europe. And now, finally, she signed a training camp contract with the Dallas Wings this year. And likely she is coming over. I don't think she's arrived just yet. I know she was indicated as someone who's going to be coming late over to training camp. But this is an example of players who can get drafted and stashed, right? She was drafted by the Dallas Wings, and she just never came over after she was drafted in 2020. But now she's finally coming over to play. Now she will be competing against Arike Vonleh. Arike is a rookie center from Baylor, but before that she was at Colorado, which is where I became a fan of her. She is someone who, again, has a lot of potential in the WNBA, right? This is someone who led Baylor in scoring this past season with 14.9 points a game. She shot a team high 58%. This is someone who can be at times a big spark for her squad, and ultimately she'll see what she can do in the WNBA. Again, uphill battle for her to actually make a roster spot. All right, continuing on. We already have one player who is already out. Lou Lopez-Sidisaw, it has already been announced that she will be missing the season, so the Dallas Wings have suspended her contract. They still keep her rights for next season. All right, so some question marks that the Dallas Wings have to answer, in my opinion. There's some question marks. First, can Paige Bueckers and Arike coexist? Yes. I think the answer to that is yes, but that is a question that is being asked. That's a question that's being asked, but I think the answer ultimately is yes. Both are players who can work really well with the basketball in their hands. I do think they find a balance. I do think that Paige primarily plays that point guard role. Sometimes she may drop to that small forward position. I do like that suggestion about Ty being the one at times and Arike the two and Paige the three. That could be really interesting. But for the most part, I do see Paige as the starting point guard for this team. And both of them will play very well together. We'll see if I'm wrong or if I'm right. Another question is, which other rookie makes it? There is a chance that maybe only one other rookie will make it, maybe two, probably just one. Is it Isaiah James? I think she has the most likelihood that she can make it. Is it JJ Kennerly, Madison Scott, Arike Ogunbowale? What other rookie is going to make something happen in training camp and ultimately get that starting spot? Also, who wins the backup point guard job? It's between Maya Yamamoto and Ty Harris. I think the winner for sure is going to be Ty Harris, but it's still a question mark, and I still wanted to just raise it just because. I think that's going to be a very fun battle because Maya Yamamoto is very short. She's very short. I believe what I said 5'5" earlier, but she has a lot of flair and she's just fun. And Ty Harris is fantastic. Vet who can just not do anything stupid on the court, who knows how to be physical in the WNBA, who knows how to knock down threes. There was one year where Ty Harris actually led the WNBA in 3-point field goal percentage, right? So that's a thing that's kind of cool. Also, another question mark is, can Dallas actually defend? Last year, Dallas was like sort of at the bottom when it came to defense. DiJonai Carrington severely helps. Possibly if JJ Kennerly makes this team, she could help as well. But others must absolutely step up in defending, not just scoring, but also playing some defense as well. Now, another question is, does this team go young or do they hang on to vets, right? You got, a lot of veterans on this team, right? Holmes, Harrigan, Charles, they could all get squeezed out if some of these rookies rise and shine in training camp. Another thing, let's take a quick look at strengths and weaknesses. The strengths I see is a star backcourt potential. Like, you got Arike and you got Paige Bueckers. Like, it's gonna be a fun thing to watch. Also, you have a deep bench of rookies that have potential in the WNBA. Now, the question mark is who makes the roster. Like, that's the thing. Also, a huge weakness is, like, it's just a lot of non-chemistry. Like, the chemistry is just TBD. Like, how exactly does Teaira McCowan work in this new system for the Dallas Wings? I think she kind of has to start just because of how big she is. But, like, how exactly does she work with the rest of the team? Like, how does everybody work? I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks on both the backcourt and front court side in terms of overall chemistry. And also, more three-point shooting. That's something that you always need. Some of the camp battles to watch out for is Yamamoto and Ty Harris. Another thing is to see what wings get in, right? Charles, Kennerly, Forbes, who's kind of making it in for those last couple spots. And here's my projected roster. We have the starters as Arike, Paige Bueckers. So Paige at the 1, which is the point guard. That's the person who has the ball quite a bit. We have DiJonai Carrington at the small forward position. Arike at the 2-guard position, the shooting guard position. NaLyssa Smith as the starting power forward. Teaira McCowan as the starting center. All right. And for the bench, you got Myisha Hines-Allen, Maddy Siegrist, Isaiah James, Ty Harris, JJ Kennerly. If NaLyssa Geiselsöder actually comes over to America, I think she makes the team. If she does not, Aaronette Vonleh possibly has an opportunity. And then the last position is a question mark. I don't know who would get that last position for the Dallas Wings. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, we'll ultimately see what happens from here. Angie says, how much concern is it that players getting injured in training camp? It's a huge concern. I mean, you're always worried about players getting injured. I think that's always a concern. Always. Regardless of what team you are, regardless of if it's training camp or it's just during the regular season, injuries are always a thing. Injuries are always a concern. All right? Okay, guys, that is the stream. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button if you actually appreciated the stream. If you did not, let me know why you did not in the comments below. Guys, I gotta go because I gotta go to work, and I will see y'all in the next one, guys. We have some more stuff to go through. As the days and weeks go on. So join me again tomorrow morning for another edition of Quita in